Welcome to Everyday Reviews. Not too long ago, we were just at the launch of the brand new Kia Sportage, or in Canada it's pronounced Sportage. In that review, we also stated that there will be 3 power plants with that. In that review, we tested the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. So along with that power plant, you also can get a 1.6 liter turbo in a hybrid trim. And now what we have here, which is the 1.6 liter turbo PHEV. Now, a lot of you guys already know I love plug-in hybrids. Why? Because they offer a little bit of everything. You get the benefits of driving an electric vehicle, depending on what range you get. Some of them are longer. We'll get to that in a second. But you also get things like, you get to drive it in the HOV lane with a single occupant in a lot of places. Sometimes you get government incentives for EVs, and plus you save a lot of fuel if you do a lot of short trips or your commute is not that long. So that's why I'm a huge fan of plug-in hybrids. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna try not to repeat everything that I said in the previous review, but here's a little recap. So this new Sportage is based on a brand new platform. It's the N3 platform. Everything about this vehicle is new. It's larger as well. As you can tell, the styling is different on this particular vehicle from the previous version. So you get standard LED headlamps. On the higher trim levels, you get projector style LEDs, you get LED tail lamps and LED combo LED and regular tail lamps on the lower trims here. This is the Sportage PHEV in the EX Premium that we have here in Canada, and there is one higher trim level, and that's the SX. So this one gets 19-inch wheels on here. It gets a smart power lift gate, so you just stand by it, opens up. Once you open it up, you can see there's lots of room, a big, huge opening. You get one-touch folding seats for here. And one thing that's different about this PHEV over the regular 2.5 that we tested is underneath the trunk area, there is no spare tire on this PHEV, where the regular naturally aspirated 2.5 did have a spare tire. I'm gonna assume it's because they had to configure things a little bit different for the battery for this PHEV. Inside, you know what? We said it before, this is a smart looking interior. It really shares that EV6 look that we tested. So, high tech. We get a 12.3-inch infotainment here. We also get a full digital display in behind the heated leather wrap steering wheel. We also get heated and ventilated faux leather seats. They're fake leather, but still they feel like real leather. And we even get heated seats in the back. Check out this massive panoramic roof. And the nice thing about this roof, it actually even opens. So it's not just for letting some light in, and you have a sunshade that is gonna retract on me. Let's open that out so we get a little bit more light in here. I like the fact that you do get tactile buttons, for the heated seats and steering wheels and things like that. So you don't have to go and fiddle through the menu with that. And where the regular Sportage that we had, it actually had a console style shifter. This has a rotary dial because this is shift by wire on this particular one. Now, all of these hybrids or the PHEVs come with a heated windshield. It's really hard to actually show you on camera, but there are small little elements running through this windshield here, and that's going to really help save a little bit of electricity and fuel to actually go and heat that engine up so hot, and use that blower to defrost that front windshield. Only downside, of course, hey, guess what? If you live somewhere where you're prone to get a lot of rock chips or cracks in your windshield, yeah, this windshield is probably not going to be inexpensive to replace, unfortunately. We also got power seats up front here. We have 2 memory positions, and underneath that mirror, you get a standard HomeLink system, so you can sync this up with your garage door. You don't have to carry anything else around, which is a big, big bonus. Standard is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It is not wireless. You do have to plug it in. However, I said it in a previous review. Guess what? you can get adapters now, and we actually got an adapter. If you haven't seen my review of the Ottocast CarPlay Android Auto wireless adapter, take a look at that. Seriously, it's exactly what we were looking for, and it makes pretty well any wired CarPlay or Android system wireless. Just plug and play. All right, let's talk about the drive. Now, out of the 3 powertrains, this PHEV has the highest horsepower. So if we start from the bottom of the base, the 2.5, that gives you 187 horsepower and 178 pound-feet of torque. You go into the 1.6 hybrid, that gives you 227 horsepower and 259 pound-feet of torque. And then you get to the PHEV, which combined, everything put together, you're going to get 261 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. I'm not sure why there's a difference between that 1 pound-foot. I don't know if that's a typo or not. So, obviously this PHEV system has a larger lithium battery, which means you can actually go extended distances in EV only, which we are doing right now. We're doing 77 kilometers an hour. We're not using any fuel whatsoever. So the official range for the EV only is about 51 kilometers. I've had it vary around 54 even, and that's about 32 miles, which is really, really decent. Now, the one thing that I've noticed between this and some other PHEVs, the Korean manufacturer, let's say the Santa Fe that we tested, the Tucson, the Sorento, which the Sorento shares the same powertrain as this, by the way, and they do not use a heat pump. So, perfect example, when I started this vehicle up today, it was 9 degrees out, which is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit for you guys down south there, and within about, I don't know, maybe less than 60 seconds, I didn't even start driving. And just basically rolling out of my driveway, and the gasoline engine kicked on, even though I was in EV mode. You see, you do have an EV and HEV button here, so you can cycle through that. So you can go automatic, hybrid, and electric mode. Now, when I just went into hybrid, you heard that gasoline engine just kick on. I'm back into EV mode now, but it's going to take a while for it to turn off. So regardless, even if I was in electric mode, that gasoline engine did kick on, and it lasted roughly about 5 minutes. And that is to warm up the engine, so you actually have use of the climate control. I was kind of surprised. I thought that it would actually need to kick on if it was a little bit colder. So 9 degrees, it wasn't that cold, but I guess it also has to warm up that engine. But after about 5 minutes, it kicked off, and then once in a while it would kick on. Now, when it kicked on, you could tell that it was being used essentially as a generator, because, for instance, right now, it is on right now. Our tachometer is saying we are at 1200 RPM. Well, we're 1200 RPM, but regardless, if I hit the throttle, that RPM is not increasing at all. It's just staying at 1200. So it's just using it just like a generator. So, you know what? It is quite seamless. Now, the only thing that I don't like about this, though, is because I'm cheap. If you give me 51 or 54 kilometers of EV range, I want 54 kilometers of EV range. I don't want that gasoline engine to kick on. And the reason being, and it's going to depend on how you drive. If you use this as a regular commuter and you're commuting whatever, 20, 30 miles each way, you're not going to notice any difference. But if you are hopping in, especially nowadays, if you're working from home still, and you're just hopping in the car, you're going 1 or 2 kilometers or miles, dropping the kids off at school, all those little trips with that gas engine kicking on, it will add on to your fuel economy, or it'll affect it for sure, by a little bit, but still, I'd rather just have pure EV, but that's just me. The Sportage PHEV comes standard with all-wheel drive, and it does have a 6-speed automatic transmission. Absolutely love the conventional automatic transmission opposed to any type of variable transmission, so that's a big plus. On our other review, we mentioned how quiet this platform and the interior of this new Sportage is. And you know what, I've been driving all week. We've had terrible weather. I just came out, we got a little bit of a break here before another atmospheric river, they call it. So it's basically raining and rivers from the sky. So super, super quiet. Right now, the gasoline engine is running. You don't even hear it because it's running at like 1200 RPM. That's it. So if we want to go and change our drive mode, we have, let's just do it now. We have sport mode, and we have eco, and we have smart, which is kind of like automatic. It just adjusts to your style of driving. If we go to sport mode, you can really feel a lot more, you know. Now in sport mode, it comes out of EV mode. However, it still operates like a regular hybrid. So even, you know, sometimes you're letting off the throttle. If there's no load on, I've noticed the tachometer goes to 0. So, you know, you're still going to actually save some fuel. Nice thing about these PHEVs though is once you deplete the battery of this system, you still save fuel because it operates like a conventional hybrid vehicle. So you get, like I said, you get the best of all worlds. The PHEV comes with a 110 charger, and overnight with a 110 outlet, it's going to take you 11 hours to fill it from empty. Yeah, it's not super, super quick, but that's definitely adequate. You know, you plug this thing at 8 p.m. and, you know, by 7:30 or so in the morning when you go to work, it's got the full charge. And depending on, hey, if you don't work more than, you know, 30 miles or 50K away, you're not going to use pretty well any fuel at all, which is a bonus. Now, if you want to bring that a little bit quicker, plug it into a level 2 charger, you're going to charge up in only 2 hours. There is no level 3 charging on this, by the way, but 2 hours, that is super, super quick. Now in EV mode, if I hit that throttle right to the floor, it will kick on that gasoline engine for extra power, which is good. That's fine, you know, if you need passing power. But as soon as I let off, it goes back to 0, which is really, really nice. By the way, if you do want a trailer with this PHEV, it comes pre-wired already for a trailer, and the maximum towing capacity of this is 2,000 pounds. So what's it going to cost you to get into a PHEV? Well, in Canada, this EX Premium goes for just under $45,000. Make sure check with your local Kia website to see what the pricing is where you live. If you're in the US, it's going to be definitely lower than that. So if you compare this PHEV though to the 1.6 turbo hybrid non-plug-in though, the EX of that starts at just under $37,000. And the SX goes for $43,195. Now the SX non-plug-in is comparable in a lot of the features that this EX Premium has. So if we compare those two together, this one's only $1,800 more, which is, you know what, that is really not a lot. Now here's the kicker though, depending on where you live. So in Canada, this PHEV, since it's extended range, qualifies for the full $5,000 EV incentive in Canada. And depending on what state or which province you live in, you may get additional discounts as well, or incentives. In British Columbia here, you would actually get another $2,000 incentive as long as you qualified for it, and that all depends on your household income. But you're guaranteed $5,000 from the federal government. So if you add those incentives up, this actually comes in at less money than that SX hybrid. That's right, less money. So that's a no-brainer. You know, and it's, you know, if you live in Quebec, you'd probably get even more money. So, but the problem is that these plugins are hot sellers right now. Everybody wants them, so they can be pretty hard to get. You know, actually, they're really hard to get. So if you don't have to have a plug-in hybrid, you want to save some money, go for that EX. Lots of content on there, just over $36,000 Canadian, and you're going to sip a lot of fuel still being a full hybrid, and you're going to save like $5,000–6,000 and you could buy a lot of fuel for a long time for that price, and you're still gonna get a great car. Real world stats, in the last 2 days, I've driven 105.9 kilometers right now, so that's just over 60 miles, and I've averaged 2.9 liters per 100 kilometers. And so I've been in electric and I've been in gas as well. So 2.9 liters per 100K, that's equivalent to, I believe, that's over 70 miles per gallon driving this. That's awesome, especially with the price of gas these days. So there you have it, our Kia Sportage, or Sportage in Canada, PHEV review. Hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Show you that you appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button. See you on the next Everyday Review.